Africa's industrial future took center stage in Accra as the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry led the launch of the 2026 Africa Trade Summit. The initiative theme, Financing Africa's Industrialization, Developing Industrial Value Chains, Beneficiation and Market Integrity, is designed to rally government, investors and industry players towards a coordinated effort to deepen value addition, modernize production system, and strengthen cross-border markets. The Minister for Trade and Agribusiness, Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, outlined Ghana's plan to build a 24-hour productive economy, expand agro-processing, and support growth through upgraded trade and logistic infrastructure.
So I think this summit is good where Africa meets in Ghana to talk about trade and investment. We know that when it comes to trade, financing is key. We need to talk about financing. Africa, or for that matter, West Africa, we've been a net exporter of raw materials for far too long, and it is obvious that it is not the way to go. So if you use Ghana as an example, the President, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, by Executive Instrument EI 2025, established the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. It realigned the already existing Ministry of Trade and Industry to include agribusiness, where we're looking at value addition and value extension. What it means is that we are tired of exporting raw material. It is time for us to add value to our raw material, because that is what creates jobs for our teeming youth and help us get the needed. We are already into agro-processing parks. Free Zones is already working well, coming up with new parks. We're also encouraging the private sector to put up new parks and all of that. So you see that Ghana is really open for business. The environment is ripe. We have created an enabling environment, and we are also open for, whatever the private sector needs to upskill. So you see that at the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and...
Representing the presidency, the Deputy Chief of Staff, Nana Oyebambo Ado, underscored the need for policy stability, stronger financing arrangements, and harmonized regional supply chains to sustain industrial momentum.
With majority of investment flows generated by private enterprises, it is the sector, our SMEs, agribusiness, manufacturers, logistics companies, and technology firms that hold the key to Africa's industrial future. In Ghana, these principles guide our natural approach. And under our reset agenda, the NDC government has pursued reforms that are designed to create a stable environment for private sector investment. So this is a call to action. Africa's industrial future requires a united effort and unified effort. We must continue to create predictable policy environments and invest in quality infrastructure. Banks and development finance institutions must unlock affordable capital for industrial growth. Private sector must lead from the front, must lead value addition, beneficiation, and innovation. Regional bodies in Africa must enforce our trade agreements and harmonize regulations. The youth, women, and SMEs must not be left behind. We must continue to drive creativity, digital solutions, and new industrial models. In conclusion, Ghana stands ready to co-lead Africa's next wave of industrial transformation. Through the reset agenda, we are building a nation that is investment ready, that is export driven, and that is industrially competitive. Let this summit mark the beginning of a new chapter where Ghana and Africa at large stand tall as producers, innovators, and global competitors.
Chair of the Advisory Board of the African Trade Chamber and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Sir Sam Jonah, urges courageous reforms and private sector leadership stressing that Africa must move from exporting raw materials to producing globally competitive finished goods.
This vision is not a dream. It is a decision and requires courageous leadership. So ladies and gentlemen, we do stand at a crossroad, the continent. We can continue the old way, exporting raw materials and importing poverty, or we can choose the more difficult path, but far more rewarding path, building industries, strengthening partnerships, and empowering the private sector to lead the charge. The world will not wait for us, and we must continue waiting for the world. Let us seize this moment with courage and clarity. Let us build the Africa we know is possible, and Africa our children will be proud to inherit.